Hey guys, Coach Sean Garner here from Excel Performance Training with this week's Thrive Training Tip of the Week. Now what I want to talk to you guys about today is glute activation and kind of some of the misunderstandings with that. We do this every day as part of our prime part of our workout, which is getting everything activated and warmed up and ready to go. Now it's not exactly like a muscle is either turned on or turned off and that we have to use this drill to get a muscle to wake up. But what it really does is kind of get a muscle to learn how to pattern itself. So our body can get ourselves in certain positions, but there's a more efficient way of doing that. And so especially when it comes to things like our squats, our deadlifts, and our sprinting, we want to make sure that we're firing from the glute and kind of not so much quad dominant. So one of the exercises we use is something that's called a cook hip lift. So how it's done is you're going to get a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball, you're going to lay down on the ground, get your feet at about a 90-degree angle, and making sure our toes are pulled up towards our knees. Now we don't want to keep the foot flat on the ground because then it's going to make us where we're using more of our quad. We want to keep that toe pulled up so we're really trying to activate and fire from that glute and hamstring. What we're going to do with the tennis balls, we're going to place it in the hips right there, and we're going to use our hip flexors to pull it in, keeping the toe pulled up. So that way, we're kind of getting two things with this. Not only are we getting some glute activation, but we're also getting some hip flexion and some psoas activation as well. If we don't do this, what we'll see a lot of time is we'll see people be able to kind of cheat the movement and use our lower back or our lumbar spine, and that's not what we want to do. So toes are pulled up, we're driving through the heels, our stomach's nice and tight. We're going to drive up through that heel, squeezing this glute as hard as we can for about 5 seconds, and then control it back down. Lightly touch, and come right back up. Now, one of the things that's great about the tennis ball is if the tennis ball kind of falls out, that shows us that we're not activating right there through our core and those hip flexors, so it shows us some issues that we need to work on. For reps and sets that we use for this, we do about 5-second holds on each side. We use holds because that really gets you to be able to feel the muscle and get it to contract hard. If we just do reps, what you'll see a lot of times is people bouncing up and down and using momentum, and that's not what we want to do. So remember, drive through the heel, squeeze the glutes, keep your toes pulled up, and keep that tennis ball or lacrosse ball pulled up into the hip, activating those hip flexors and psoas, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure for more Thrive training tips, be sure to check us out at excelperformancetraining.com. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Follow us, like us, subscribe to us, and be sure to check out more information or contact us at 918-9494-223.